Good morning, it is day 3. This is the walk that yesterday Billy Loughnane and Bo Echo did after being successful in the Visit Qatar Sussex Stakes. What a race, Rachel.
Oh, what a walk, what a reception. Absolutely incredible. What I loved the most, not just the reception, but the ice-cool ride Billy Loughnane managed to pull off on Bo Echo. I was one of the doubters. You know, he said afterwards, I've silenced the doubters. Yesterday, I was one of them. I really was.
You were a doubter mid-race, or you mean before the race?
Well, I was a doubter before the race, and actually during the race I'm thinking, how's he going to get out of there? Is he looking a little bit flat? But my gosh, pressed the button and off he went.
It was absolutely fantastic. Really lifted the meeting, and we go into day number 3. One of the highlights is the Markel Magnolia Cup. Are you looking forward to that?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, there's a real buzz, and I can feel the nerves, the excitement. 12 incredible women taking part. I mean, there's been a lot of dedication and hard work that's been put in to ride today. You know, the famous straight they'll be coming down. What a thrill, what an honour. So much pressure, but of course, education above all is the charity, and so much money will be raised and will be raised in the future. It's a wonderful event. Yeah, and Rachel will be catching up with some of the competitors later on in this morning's show. And the feature today, the Qatar Nassau Stakes. It's diamond necklaces to win, isn't it? Or diamond necklaces to lose. Yeah, well, you think about it, Aidan O'Brien, he's got a great record in the race. You know, the likes of Minding, you know, we've seen some wonderful fillies win it. And yeah, under the blue skies, it could be a very good day for Ballydoyle. It certainly promises to be that way. She looks like the best 3-year-old filly in Europe, but you just never know, and that's the whole intrepidation, isn't it, ahead of today? It's all the way back to 2007 when Peeping Fawn gave him his first. He is looking for his 6th Can Diamond necklace at her name. To the Roll of Honour.
And it's Midday, who's a couple of lengths in advance of Snow Fairy, but Midday Smoothly is going to round off a terrific week for Tom Quealy, Sir Henry Cecil and Khalid Abdullah. The Fugue is staying on strongly, Was is rallying, and the Fugue, a blistering turn of foot, carries her to the front, and she wins the Market Insurance Nassau Stakes in dominant fashion. And Minding is being pushed out towards the line and will notch her 6th Group 1 success in the Qatar Nassau Stakes. And Ryan Moore gains his first success in the race. It's another in the race for Aidan O'Brien.
And Whirl all the way, leads by 2-3 lengths, and she's actually drawing further away. And what a great filly this is. And Whirl wins the Nassau in fantastic style.
Always learning. If you'd have asked me who wrote the Fugue, I wouldn't have said Richard Hughes. So there you go. Chris Dixon back alongside me. How are you? Day 3?
Good.
Good?
Yeah, all good. All good. The seagulls are starting to get a bit annoying in the morning.
Are they? Yes. On your roof?
I don't know where they are, but they're just loud.
Yeah, they are. They do that. There's not a huge amount you can do about it either. Are you staying quite near the sea?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't have a gun, but you're probably not allowed to shoot them.
No. I don't think they're sort of officially protected, but I think you could possibly use a BB gun.
Or just put
earplugs in, Chris.
They make a lot of noise.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
well, there we are. Apologies if anyone's offended by the thought of killing seagulls this morning, but we haven't done that at all. Should we have a look back at yesterday? Bo Echo. No. Or you could use a bow, perhaps. There we are. That links us nicely into Bo Echo, who was fantastic yesterday at the Visit Qatar Sussex Stakes. Wasn't he good?
It was very good.
Good race.
This was a brilliant race, and so often when you know, you can build races up and whether they're going to deliver, and unfortunately it doesn't always happen, doesn't it? And you know, as a sport, there's the odd opportunity that the action sort of gets beyond the general racing public and other people can start to latch onto it a touch, and you felt like this was maybe an opportunity for that to happen to some degree yesterday. You've got an unbeaten horse who's progressing all the time, with a young rider that's leading the championship on top and making a huge name for himself, and the race actually delivered. It was the right kind of result. From a form perspective, it stacks up. If you work out what sort of rating he's run to, you can get a good number on it, and it's a number that makes sense. And it was an exciting watch, wasn't it? It just wasn't straightforward. It wasn't until the last few moments that you kind of realised that he was going to get up and win. So it was a fantastic race. Now, fantastic. I watched it out at the front. Fantastic response as well from the crowd, who were willing him home, and there was a big cheer when he got there.
Instinctively, how easily or not do you think he did it?
I think he was well enough on top. I think he was probably valued for a little bit more than he won by, but not, as we were talking yesterday morning, I don't think Guineas like proportions. But we said yesterday, didn't we, that maybe the Guineas sort of exaggerated how much better he was than say Gustard, and at Ascot it was probably masked a little bit, and yesterday it was probably masked a touch again. Stand by the view that he's a little bit better horse than Gustard, and you know, Opera Ballo, he ran his race. He's got such a good record going around a bend, and he had every chance from where he was, and he ran his race, I think. So yes, there was a bit of pressure onto him early in the race and everything, but I don't think he massively underperformed. You start looking at the ratings in behind, like 10 Bob Turney, he's kind of run his race. So I think it was another really good effort from Bo Echo, and he's a real top-notcher, and it's great that he's unbeaten and that he's dominating this division, because
yeah, and for a 20-year-old rider and a 34-year-old trainer to be responsible, and I know there's a huge team outside as well, but they're the names on the race card, to be responsible for an unbeaten 3-year-old colt who has gone Guineas, St James's Palace, Sussex Stakes, is unheralded, really.
Yeah, and it's not a set of races that get won very often, is it, in consecutive races? So it's a really, really hard thing to do, and you shouldn't underplay that consistency that he's bringing to the table at a really high level. And a couple of times things have gone a little bit wrong. Since the Guineas, I don't think the races have been tactically straightforward. Obviously, when you get to that level, everyone's looking at how can we get you beaten, and you know, you're riding Group 1s. You try and get hemmed in, you try and get pushed out. There's all things going on to try and get these horses beaten, because people aren't lying down to just crown these champions. You've got to earn it, and to stay at the top is really, really hard. I often think, used to often be said to me, the easiest thing is to get to a level. Staying there is the really hard part, and that's what he's managing to do.
And as far as what he does next goes, I think there's something quite freeing about the fact that we're not in the same chat that we were with the last time we arrived here with an unbeaten horse in the form of Frankel, going, right, when's he going to go over 10? He'll get further. There doesn't seem to be that narrative with this horse, because he seems a miler. He doesn't seem to have that scope and option.
He does seem a miler. It's kind of easy. Even when you go back to sort of Frankel, then the next real star that we got that had this level was Baid, I think, at this sort of trip.
Kingman?
I don't think he was as sort of... He was, yeah, I suppose, yeah. But that's probably a fair shout, but I don't think he was as dominant, but he kind of stuck around at the mile, didn't he? But Baid, it was always, when's he going to go up in trip? That's the point that I'm making, really. And then when he did go up in trip at York, there was a little bit more there.
Yeah.
I think with this fella, he is, as you said, just a miler, and we kind of know roughly what options they have for him. They can look international, I'm sure.
Well, that's what they...
Breeders' Cup.
It looks as though they'll go to France, and then they'll go to Breeders' Cup.
Yeah.
Which would be fantastic again.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see him here on Champions Day, but I think the Breeders' Cup's actually a better fit for him as a horse.
If he gets to Halloween, which it is, I think, unbeaten, what a season.
Yeah, and there's definitely something about being unbeaten, isn't there?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Adds something to it.
Without a shadow. It was the thing that See the Stars never had.
Yeah.
And Kingman after the Guineas. Because it's so difficult to maintain that. It's so difficult not to have the blip.
Yeah.
Or if you have the blip, to be able to overcome it. Yeah,
exactly. And, you know, a lot of horses, they fall at the first hurdle, because even really good ones get beaten first time out, don't they? And so that it's not an easy thing to do, and it does. You know, it was good to see the 3-year-olds sort of put their mark down on that race yesterday and see off the older milers. But still with a feeling that the older milers hadn't bombed out. I don't think there were horses that didn't run their race yesterday.
We had Pashada win the Malcolm. Thought she did that really well. She did, yeah. She was off the pace of it. Bang! She saw it out and won by
saw it really well. Yeah, broke the hearts of connections of Adonis, who I thought looked like he'd maybe kicked on and won it, but in the end he was completely overhauled by Pashada, who, to be fair, is travelling really well at this point. And it was just as he kicked that the gap in behind opened up for Pashada, and Pashada was able to get out and steadily wear down. But starting to think here it's Goodwood. Are they coming back? And then yes, inside the half furlong, she's already got to the front.
He saw it out well, didn't he, Adonis? Like he wasn't, you know, he wasn't as if the eventual third was hand over fist gaining on him, but the winner, went away from him nicely.
Yeah, she did. I was speaking to Becky Menzies afterwards, and she was saying that her horse, you know, would probably prefer a bit slower ground. They're thinking of going to France. They weren't making excuses for him by any stretch of the imagination, but that would maybe help him in the short term. But Pashada was the class act in the field on the day, and she had the proven course form as well, and her form tied into some good 2-year-old form lines. So she looked the one to beat, and she proved to be the one to beat.
Your Wathnan double came off. Well done. I had that on account of you, so thank you. Wild Blossom and then Flora Bermuda.
Yeah, and Flora Bermuda beat Sayadar Darien. There wasn't a huge amount between them, just a neck out of the line. They were both up in trip, and they both saw it out really well. Radiant Beauty, I thought, ran a really good race, because this was a step up in terms of quality and level of opposition, and also not the same tactical advantages that she'd had under a really good ride from James Doyle at Pontefract on her previous start. So she emerges with a lot of credit, but it was the two horses that came to the fore that looked the key horses going into it, and Flora Bermuda,
she won a bit snugly then.
She did, and she's met Sayadar Darien a few times now, and she keeps on managing really to finish in front of her. As I mentioned yesterday, she didn't at Royal Ascot, but she had her own excuses, and actually her season now, Flora of Bermuda, aside from the excusable Royal Ascot run, is faultless, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's 3 from 3.
Yeah. She looked very adept here over 7, I thought.
Yep, she did, and that opens up more options for her, and it does for Sayadar Darien as well. They don't just have to look at the 6 furlong programme. They can look at a 7. They don't necessarily strike like horses. They're going to then go on to be racing over a mile. So it's 6 and 7. But again, just on a wider point, I often think when you're looking at a horse trip-wise, and you're wondering whether they will stay the longer trip, and it happens a lot around sort of 6 furlongs and horses stepping up to 7. I think it's pretty rare that if you're a 6 furlong horse, that you're just a 6 furlong horse. You can either do 6 and 5 or 6 and 7.
Track dependent.
Track dependent, but also just to some extent that if they're not quite quick enough for 5, but they're winning over 6, they'll probably be all right over 7.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if they're running over 6 but they don't stay 7, they'll probably be fast enough for 5.
Yeah, yeah.
But we sit here time and again and think about the trip.
But I do think that's very, you know, you might get a horse who's capable of winning at the 5 at York.
Yeah.
And you'll think they'll get 6, but they wouldn't get 6 at Ascot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because of the different nature of the track. They play different things.
Where you go, they all test different things, and that's the other thing that we have with our racing here, and that you look at Bo Echo and what he's achieving. It's not just always doing it under the same set of circumstances. There's different challenges that come along. You've got Newmarket with his Guineas win, just focusing on this season. You've got his Newmarket Guineas win, which is early on in the campaign. Yes, it was lively enough ground. He hasn't had too much ground discrepancy to deal with, which you can get over here as well. But he's on a straight mile, an undulating track, and then he goes to a round mile with a climb, and then he's on a round mile that's up and down and a lot of downhill racing. There's so much that it's testing, and each track tests something different in the horse, and when these horses are able to keep on delivering under these different set of circumstances, it shows you that they've got more than one weapon in their armory, I think.
Today's feature is the Qatar Nassau Stakes, the last Group 1 of the meeting. Chris and I'll be focusing on that when you rejoin us. We're saying hello to Angus McNay back in the studio. Angus, how are you? Welcome.
Good to see you guys, Tom. Thank you very much indeed. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Racing TV studios. Day 3 of the Qatar Goodwood Festival. We've enjoyed some tremendous action so far, as highlighted by the boys there on course. 2 headline acts in Scandinavia and Bo Echo. I wonder who is going to be the headline act today. Here are some of the candidates.
It's going to get pretty close. Woodcote Girl on the near side of Doha. Woodcote Girl is getting up from Doha, and then back in third, it's Lovelace.
Decade of time under George Bass, who now goes for home. It's going to be decade of time to follow up the Windsor success to make it 2 out of 3 in the career.
And Cutter Dash is drawing clear to win this on debut for Sean Levy and Richard Hannon in the colours of the Denford Stud. Looks promising.
Bay of Brilliance is going to follow up the Goodwood win in good style. A big gap to Poco takes second place now. Bay of Brilliance the winner, and was brilliant.
Upwards the finish, it is Diamond Necklace, hands and heads by Christoph. Sumion remains unbeaten in the Ingerbell. Chicania's second, Conscious leaving in third.
Schrodinger's Cat has burst clear, 5 lengths to the good, heading up towards the line. Schrodinger's Cat for Oliver Stammers, Grant Stewart, and the Hornby Hornets have bolted up here.
Shadow King, who now goes on by length and a half in the hands of Sean Levy, and as they race up towards the line, Shadow King with Mina battling back, but in the end it goes to Shadow King.
Bellesk about 2.5 lengths clear, so Lovely staying on well, but it's a 2-year-old treble for Joseph O'Brien and Dylan Brandrek Monagle.
Go Rimbo leading, besieged in second place, can't quite get past Romanticizing running on behind those. Go Rimbo makes all.
Those are just some of the horses you will be seeing in action this afternoon on this card, on ground described as good to firm, good in places. It's a 150 start, and we get underway with a handicap over 10 furlongs. Then we've got the 2-year-olds in the Markel Richmond Stakes Group 2 over 6 furlongs. We move on to a 1.5 miles for the Group 3 Gordon Stakes at 3 o'clock. The feature event at 3:35, the Qatar Nassau Stakes Group 1, and that is over 10 furlongs. And then we have a handicap over 5 furlongs at 4:10. Loads of pace signed on there. Nursery over 7 furlongs. Also 7 furlongs for a maiden at 5:20, and finally a handicap at 5:55 to conclude the 8-race card, and that is over a mile. These 2 horses are absentees. In the 5:20, number 10, La Torre, an intended newcomer in that race, will not be running. In the 5:15, cross off number 19, Storm Point. And after 2 days of the Qatar Goodwood Festival, here are the leading trainers. William Haggis is at the top of the tree. He's had a couple of winners. Richard Hannon's had a couple as well. They share the leadership because they've had no seconds or thirds between them. 1 winner for Aidan O'Brien. He has had a couple of seconds. Andrew Balding going well with a winner. He's had a couple of seconds. His horses by and large are in tremendous form. Roger Varian likewise. He's got his horses in good nick. And then there's also a winner for Carl Burke. George Bowie, of course, Bow Secret in the big race on the second day, the Sussex Stakes. George Scott's got a winner, Oliver Cole has, Richard Spencer has, Martin Dunn, Jenny Clandlish and Daniel and Claire Kubler. Those are the leading trainers after 2 days. What about the jockeys? Well, there's no surprise here. World-class jockey at the head of affairs in the shape of Ryan Moore. He's had a couple of winners. He's had 3 seconds as well. Perhaps counts himself a little bit unlucky to not be further clear. James Doyle, he's had a couple of winners. Billy Loughnane, he's had 2. Bo Echo, of course, for him. Kieran Fallon with a couple too. Then 1 apiece for the following: William Buick, Kaya Fraser, Safi Osborne, Pat Dobbs, Jack Mitchell, Tom Wakand and Sean Levy. Ryan Moore, brilliant world-class international rider, heads the leading jockeys table after a couple of days. There are no winners thus far at the meeting for Kieran Schumark. He has 3 rides today. I wanted to highlight them because he has a very good record at the track. He's got River Spey, who's a 22-to-1 shot in the 4:10. 4:45, he's got the Ginger Kid, who's 9-to-1, and Sienna Storm is an 8-to-1 shot in the 5:20. He has got a tremendous record at this track. He goes really well here. As we all know, it is a tricky track to ride. and he knows exactly how to ride it. In the last 12 months, he's ridden 6 winners. His strike rate's really good. It's just over 17%, and that is much better than his career strike rate or his strike rate over the last 12 months. His actual over expected, he's striking at 61% more at Goodwood than the market would expect him to do so, meaning he's had a few decent price winners. He's getting horses to perform better than the market thinks they are going to, and I think on that basis it's probably worth following him to the end of the Qatar Goodwood Festival on Saturday. He's got plenty more rides booked, and those 3 today are very interesting at decent prices later this afternoon. Kieran Schumacher, who really knows how to ride Goodwood. Let's go back to the track now and rejoin Rachel.
Thank you, Angus. Blue skies here at Goodwood once again. It promises to be another cracker of a day. Ed, good to see you. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it'd be great, won't it? And hopefully just slightly cooler. It was, you know, far too hot really to really enjoy it yesterday.
It's definitely cooler today.
It's definitely cooler today. My goodness me, if the racing's as warm as it was yesterday, today we're in for another real good day.
Have you ever heard cheers louder than that here at Goodwood for Billy Loughnane and Bo Echo?
I don't think so. Somebody said, oh, it must have been louder for Frankel, but I think they were clapping at the 2 furlong pole for Frankel, and it was a real ding-dong up the straight here yesterday.
It certainly was. What about yesterday in terms of the ground? Everything, were you happy?
Yeah, very happy. We quickened it up just a little bit before the start of racing to good, firm, good in places. That's where we've left it this morning. The straight had 5 millimetres of water on it last night, and we put about 3.5, 4 mil onto the bends last night as well. And
what about today?
Yeah, very happy. Exactly the same. Leave it at good, firm, good in places. 7.4, I think it was, on the going stick. And the cutaway has moved back from the 2 furlong marker to the 3.5.
Is it kind of everything had you kind of planned that has gone this week in terms of like how much you've had to put down? And
yeah, I think, you know, putting more than 5 mil on is quite a risky business overnight, and I think we've, you know, at the moment we seem to be where we are. We've kept a bit of moisture on it, despite being quite so warm. We haven't lost as much in ET during the day as, you know, we thought we might have done, so that's helped us.
Listen, we have to talk about the Magnolia Cup as well. I was down there at the half furlong mark. I was like, gosh, I wouldn't fancy pulling up there, and you're like, yeah, well, that's why they've had to move it back, because it's such a unique race course. I mean, listen, we all love it at Goodwood, but I mean, when you're not an experienced jockey, it's quite the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, these ladies have done amazingly well to get to where they are. They've trained really hard, and the adrenaline rush must be fabulous. And then when they get across the line, to suddenly think, oh, goodness me, I've got to, you know, try and now pull up round quite a tight turn and quite a short pull up. So, yeah, it was a sensible thing to do. I don't know, when we changed it, must have been 8-10 years ago now, I suppose. So,
well, I think when you just get to here, to the finish, and you can just see the amount of time you have and the distance.
There's no time at all. So, you know, great thing. And then, you know, we put another photo finish camera up at the half furlong for that winning post, and away we go.
Yeah, everyone gets behind them. It's going to be great.
Yeah, brilliant.
And another big day, of course. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Pleasure.
Enjoy it all.
Likewise.
And, tip-top form as ever. Ed Arkle ahead of day 3 here at Goodwood.
See the Fire is the final challenger, and See the Fire powers through to win the Skybench Stencil.
As the line looms, See the Fire all out near the line. See the Fire to win the Nottinghamshire Oaks.
It's not the 12-length demolition job of last year, but she's going to do it quite handily as well. She backs up in the Middleton. See the Fire beats Red Letter.
Yeah, she is a tremendously consistent filly for the Andrew Balding team. Got a particularly good record at York, but she's run well in this race. On the last couple of occasions, she has been placed for the last 2 years behind Opera Singer and behind Whirl as well. And she'll certainly be hopeful of going close this time around in what is a small field. Here are the last 10 winners to put the race in some sort of context. Aidan O'Brien's won it for the last couple of years with Whirl and Opera Singer. Al Husner, Nashwa took it for Team Gosden. Lady Bowthorpe for William Jarvis and Kieran Schumacher. Fancy Blue, Donica O'Brien and Ryan Moore in 2020. Deirdre, Wild Illusion, Winter and Minding. Winter and Minding, another couple of winners for Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien. Of course, they have the favourite this time around in the shape of Diamond Necklace, who's round about the 4 to 5 mark. At the moment, these are Betfair prices. Friendly Soul is 5 to 2 and See the Fire is 11-2. Botagoz is 12-1, and Moments of Joy 100-1. So just the 5 of them going to post at 335. For the Qatar Nassau Stakes, Diamond Necklace. What a tremendous filly she is. She's unbeaten in her career. She's rated 115. She's won the French Guineas. She won the French Oaks as well. She was a very good 2-year-old. And there might be more to come from her as she gradually steps up in trip. Let's hear from her trainer, Aidan O'Brien.
And on to the Thursday then, the high-class action continues with the Group 1 Qatar Nassau Stakes. You've got the dual French Classic winner in Diamond Necklace at the top of the market. How has she been?
Good. Everything's went well. She's a lovely natural filly. We stepped up to 1.25 miles the last time. We were very happy with her. She's doing very well physically. She's obviously a great pedigree and she's by St Mark's. So, yeah, she's exciting.
And Goodwood's track is going to pose a slightly different test. How do you think she'll fare with that?
I think she'll be fine. She's well balanced. She's medium-sized filly, good stride. She's been around Longchamp and Chantilly, both right-handed tracks, so I don't think that should be a problem.
Aidan, you've trained some of the greatest fillies of the modern era. It's early days, but where does she stack up amongst those?
She looks very good at the moment. Everything she's been asked to do, she's done very easy, very comfortable. She obviously is in that could be anything category. Obviously, she looks really special at the moment, and we're very excited to have her.
Chris, is she the best 3-year-old filly around at the moment?
Yeah, I think she is. Again, we're talking about the unbeaten thing. She's got that on her side, hasn't she? And she's got the potential to keep on doing better. I thought the trip really suited her last time out. It was quite a bit of stamina in her pedigree, and she was strong through the line on her first go at the distance. She's ground versatile, and she's got 3 Group 1 wins already on the board. So very, very difficult to knock her, really, and she's having to take on a different generation now, and that's going to be the key factor. She's the best of the 3-year-old fillies, I think. At sort of this trip in a mile, and I think there's a chance that she will get a little bit further, actually, with the way that she finished off and that stamina that she's got in her pedigree. I think her attitude is a massive benefit to her. She does really respond. Go right back to the early part of her career, she was always one that found plenty. So I think she's very much the horse to beat. I feel that the discrepancy in price between her and Friendly Soul is a little bit too big, because I think it's we're yet to sort of see how the 3-year-old fillies are going to stack up against the older horses. It's not. We were talking about this with the 3-year-old colts yesterday. I think you could look at them and think that they're stacking up absolutely fine. I'm not sure we can do quite the same with the fillies at this stage. Yeah,
but she hasn't got. I think if you told me there was an unbeaten 3-time top-level winning filly coming into this. Rated 115. I feel like there's not quite the traction that you'd expect there. Perhaps because she, didn't run in an Oaks, or perhaps because her last 3 starts have been in France. I don't know why. I think it's that her starts have been in France. So over here we don't really know her. This is her first foray into Britain, which again is something different, but near enough to France, aren't we? It's pretty close, yeah. Yeah.
And she's travelled before, so there isn't that question mark. And yeah, I just think I was just looking at the prices and thinking I really like Diamond Necklace, but there's that little bit of a doubt in my mind about how the 3-year-old fillies are going to match up against the older fillies. And I think Friendly Soul is a horse of this level, and I think she's already proven it, and her form is stacking up pretty well.
We're going to come to her once. We've just covered See the Fire, who is looking to score in top-level company. Can she?
I think yeah, she can. I mean, she's been in deep enough along the way when she's tried the better races in the past, and they haven't always been straightforward opportunities that she's been given, but nor is this really. I feel like she'll probably come up a touch short.
She likes York.
She's had enough go. Yeah, this is York. I mean, but she ran really well in this, didn't she? When she was behind Opera Singer. couple of years ago. So she's sort of gone very close in a Group 1 at this track before. She ran in the race last year behind Whirl, and she's I'm pretty sure going to be in and around the scene, but I kind of feel like one of the others will beat her. So yes, in answer to the question, yes, she can win one, but I think she's going to need a few things to drop right for her on the day for that to happen. And to me, there's two more obvious contenders than her, and the market is kind of reflecting that.
Chris has touched on Friendly Soul, who hasn't had things go to plan so far this season off the back of a big old absence. Here's Josh Stacey talking to half the training operation, Teddy Gosden.
You're represented in the Group 1 Qatar Nassau Stakes by Friendly Soul. Considering she missed the whole of 2025 and then what happened at Haydock happened, did you have a lot of optimism leaving Ascot when she was third behind Blue Bolt?
Like you say, she hasn't an ideal start to the season, but you know, she ran great races last year. The mile's slightly below her optimum trip there. Thought she'd Group 1 winner over the mile and a quarter, although it was a while ago in France. But she's coming to in great shape, and you know, the step up to the mile and a quarter should suit her well.
That 3-year-old form looks red hot. Beat Kalpana, she beat Fallen Angel, she beat Running Lion. Do you think she's still the same mare that she was as a 3-year-old?
Well, what she shows us here, she seems to be, you know. Of course, it's an incredibly sporting decision of her and her breeder, George and Julia Strawbridges, to keep her in training. You know, she's one of their great families. You know, she's a 4th Group 1 winner out of the mare, which is, as you know, pretty unusual. Yeah, she's still doing us all the right signs at the moment, and hopefully can run a huge one for them next week.
How excited does she get you personally?
Well, you know, it's of course wonderful to have fillies like her in the yard. Possibly a little bit nervous after Haydock, but rather than excited. No, but she's, you know, straight filly to have around. Of course, we know her very well now. She's been here a very long time. She's, you know, she's a very kind filly to be around, and you know, when she shows you can do on the track, it's great to see.
Is she versatile ground wide? Because obviously that run and the win as a 3-year-old in France came on heavy ground. She's proven good form on good to firm, but is it slightly more ideal, the softer conditions?
Well, you know, I don't think she's ground dependent filly at all. You know, she is versatile. Like most of them, she probably wouldn't want it lightning fast, but you know, Ed Arthur does an incredibly good job at Goodwood. You know, they've got dry fortress into it, and there'll be a great grass cover there, and you know, I'm sure she'll handle the ground.
She was sent off the 2-to-1 favourite here at Haydock. This was off the back of a big old absence. Last run on 6th October 2024. This was the 23rd of May 26. She was travelling well, Chris. She trod in the hole, and that was game over. Thankfully, she was none the worse for it.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, excusable run, and as you said, you kind of feared the worst after that, and she was quickly enough pulled up by Dasheen Murphy, and yeah, it could have been a really nasty incident. Fortunately, it wasn't, and that means that really her first real run of the season was at Ascot, and again, things just didn't go her way, did they? She was a long way back on the rail. She didn't really get a clear passage through as the race developed, and she was valued for being close. So whether she'd have won or not, I don't know. My feeling on the day was that she would have gone very close. When you see what Blue Bolt has done subsequently, maybe you revise that opinion a touch, but you don't necessarily have to. And that's the thing that leads me to believe that she's too big a price in comparison to the favourite here, because that form from Ascot, where I would have had her definitely valued for closer, has thrown up the Falmouth winner, and Kontiki, who came out and won at Ascot the other day. So I think that form is really good, and she was entitled to be a little bit closer. She's already proven herself at Group 1 level. Yes, she's older. She hasn't actually had that much more racing than Diamond Necklace.
No. But I suppose if she was slowly away at Ascot, and that put paid to her chances from a lowest draw. She's got fewer competitors here, so it's not such a big deal. Yeah, maybe she won't be. That's not her nature, is it?
No, I mean, she's not. She's normally been a more forward-going horse, hasn't she, in her races? So it wasn't something that was really on my radar and been a concern with her. I'm just looking at her in terms of level of form and level of ability and the depth that she's got to her form, and wondering whether she's just been overpriced a bit in the market. As I keep saying, I think the discrepancy between the two is a little bit bigger than it should be, because I think she is a clear second pick, and I'm not sure that the favourite has that much in hand of her to be that much shorter. Indeed, I don't know if her form's any better because it's yet to be tested outside of that generation.
The supplemented Botagoz adds a bit of intrigue to the race.
Yeah.
She was a Group 3 winner last time.
She was. Saw her when she won at Nottingham, and she's a big filly. I was a bit surprised that she was supplemented just because of the ground on this track, but in terms of ability, I think you're looking at her and thinking it's well worth a go. She's got a really good pedigree. She's shown a real high level of ability to this point already, but this will be the quickest ground that she's going to race on, and whether that is going to suit her, I think is open to question. I think the drop back in distance from the step up in distance from a mile to 10 furlongs really suited her last time out. I think that brought about a bit of improvement, and when you look at this York run, it was fairly clear that she was ready for a step up in distance, I think, and when she won at Nottingham, I mean, she was going nowhere before she starts to charge home. When she won at Nottingham, she was very, very strong through the line, so I feel like the step up in trip unlocked improvement really last time out, and there might just be a little bit more to come. It's just whether the ground is a bit lively.
Would you back Friendly Soul?
Yeah.
At these prices?
Yeah. I think she's too big.
So Diamond Range should be favourite, but there's too much between them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, if someone really just wants to know the winner, then I think the most likely winner is Diamond Rain, but is it that far between them? I don't think it is. I think there's a solid enough argument that they can be a bit close together in the market.
Okay, and we finish that with Botagoz, who is in focus with Angus McNay now.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, guys. Thanks for that. Yeah, I do like Botagoz. I think she's a very interesting supplement for this particular contest. She adds some spice to the race. She's around a 12-to-1 shot at the moment, and I'd have her a second best in behind Diamond Necklace, who's the 4-to-5 favourite at the moment. We had a look at the York race briefly there with Tom and Chris, the race in which she surged home in the closing stages. I'd like to add a bit more detail to that, courtesy of the Race IQ data, and just take it in once again. I'll remind you this was won by Lilt, who came from stall 1. So Regal was second from 7. Botagoz was third from stall number 5. Botagoz was quite slowly into stride. They wanted to settle her out the rear of the field. You can see a few of them pulling for their heads. It was a steady early gallop. 2.59 seconds she took to get to 20 miles an hour. And there really is no pace on until So Regal goes forward from her outside draw of stall 7. And then they step up the pace a little bit, but it really was quite a steadily run affair. The first 4 furlongs are rated as slower than the Race IQ par. So here at York, over this trip, this was a bit of a crawl and sprint race, and it was not run to suit Botagoz, who is not ideally placed down towards the inside there in a poor position the way the race was run. She begins to pick up when she gets to the 5th furlong, where she goes 11.53, which is faster than par, and then she goes 11.29. Now those around her are running a shade quicker. 11.03 for So Regal, 11.23 for Lilt, and she takes a while to pick up Botagoz, but she really gets the hang of things in the closing stages. 11.72 is what she goes through next, through the 7th furlong, and then her 8th furlong is quick, it's very fast against par. As Chris was saying, she hit the line very hard at Nottingham, and she did so here. 12.26, she was flying home in the closing stages, almost getting to So Regal, and would have been there in another half a length or so. Lilt went on to run pretty well in the Diane at Chantilly. It was a good effort from her. She'd only beaten just over 4.5 lengths by Diamond Necklace. What I'd say is that there's plenty to come from Botagoz. There's loads of improvement at this trip. I take Chris's point about the ground, but I think at this trip we're going to see an awful lot more from her. This race not run to suit. Look at the sea of blue early on those sectionals there, telling us that it was slower than par for most of the horses in the first half mile. She then picked up really well through that final half mile. She came home very strongly, a very fast final furlong. The only other horse to do a very fast final furlong was Lilt. It's a very promising effort, that, from Botagoz. Whether she can beat Diamond Necklace or not, who knows? She's going to have to take a big step up on that form. But there is undoubtedly more to come from her. The supplementary entry is fascinating. She adds spice to the race. And I think she will be the one to give Diamond Necklace the most to think about in the Qatar Nassau Stakes this afternoon. Let's go back to Rachel now.
Well, 12 remarkable women competing in today's Magnolia Cup, and I found two of them, Victoria and Charlotte, all the way from Australia, which is so exciting. Charlotte, you've obviously got a lot of experience in horse racing. How about the Magnolia Cup? How did it all come about?
Oh, it was a delight to be asked to come and participate in this year's event, and it's always something I've looked at from afar and really thought how wonderful it was as an event, and yeah, to be a part of it has been absolutely magical. It's such a unique experience, and yes, I've got some background in racing and I do train horses over in Melbourne, but I've never ridden in a race, I've never competed in jump outs or anything like that, and I do a little bit of work riding here and there, but I've really had to hone up and get back on that horse, so to speak, and hone that fitness and get here in as best possible condition.
Well, you're both looking in great condition. Before we talk about, you know, all of the hard months, the blood, the sweat and the tears and all the dedication, Victoria, what about yourself? From Beijing, the first woman from China to be riding in a race here at Goodwood?
I'm really excited to be here finally, because my friend Lizzie Jelfs and Suan Carl, when they first time told me about this race last year, and I look online and I had a look, I was like, wow, this race, I just got to go, because Goodwood, that's one of the most beautiful race courses in the world, and I just I feel really excited and honored to get selected into this year's race and to be finally able to stand on the turf and ride a horse. I'm just feeling so excited, and also the other 11 amazing women I'm going to race together, they're incredible, so I feel totally honored.
You're all incredible, and talk to me about the training, because it's quite rigorous, isn't it? So you've got to pass the fitness tests, you know, all the early mornings riding out. How's it been for you?
Yeah, so for me, because I'm from Beijing, where we don't really have a lot of horses, I didn't really have too much riding backgrounds. But since last year, since I put in the application, I started going to the gym like 5 times a week, and then I started learning to ride thoroughbreds. I have to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning every day, Monday through Saturday. So it's been not really. I have like 10 alarms in my phone, so I have to really put myself up there. And the weather in Melbourne sometimes is quite rainy and hailing, but we still gotta go ride the horses, because I know how tough the race is going to be. So I just want to get myself ready there. Just try to make everyone happy and make the horse happy. Just don't let everyone down. Just enjoy the time. So
I want to ask you about your horses. I mean, have you sat on your horse many times?
I have only sat on mine once.
And which horse are you riding?
So Chris Gordon trains South Bank. He's based in Winchester, locally here. I was actually born in Winchester, so it's a bit of a full circle moment. And I got to have a little spin on him. I arrived on Monday night, went down there on Tuesday and just rolled him up the gallops there, and he felt great. I really like him. I think I'm absolutely blessed to ride a horse like him. He looks pretty straightforward, and Chris is an absolute ripper of a bloke. I'm sure everyone.
What a character, what a character.
Isn't he? He's been so supportive. So Araminta Reid, another girl who's competing, she's also riding one of his horses. So together, yeah, we've had a bit of fun on that Tuesday morning, and yeah, I've had one spin, but it was a good spin.
And what about yourself, Victoria? Who are you going to be riding?
I'm going to ride one of Mr. Ed Dunlop's horse. It's a 4-year-old gelding called Tactical Plan. He's a little grey horse. I really like him. He's very straightforward, and every time you just feel like he's got the powers out underneath, but sometimes he could be keen. So he actually gave me a lot of free gym sessions on the track. So, and I really enjoyed riding him up on Warren Hill, up Hathaway, all those beautiful gallops in Newmarket. So I've been really happy riding him. And I'm really thankful that all the people from Dunlop Racing, they've been so supportive, helping me how to do the correct things. So, yeah.
Well, let's hope he's not pulling your arms off today. And Charlotte, you know, you've all been out to walk the course. I mean, what are the feelings like? I mean, are there nerves, butterflies, excitement, or is it just a case of, right, today's the day, all the hard work's been done?
I feel like I've been just going that hard and not really having any moment to think about it until we stepped on that turf today. And I've been very good with my nerves, but as soon as I walked through the sort of final furlongs, I looked up at the grandstand and imagined what it could feel like. And yeah, I certainly got a few twinges there, but I think it's more in anticipation of just how great the occasion is going to be. I am so excited. The next few hours is going to be hard work.
I mean, we have amazing races today, but I think everyone's walking in talking about the Magnolia Cup and everyone gets behind it, Victoria. And what about you? How are the nerves?
Every time, you know, when you think about the whole thing, like Charlotte said, when you imagine what's going to happen in the next few hours, I get a little bit nervous about everything because I was thinking, oh, if my boy just bolted off or something, what should I do? But and also, you know, riding a straight line, like keep telling yourself all the instructions, that just gets me nervous. But when you look at the turf and then look at the beautiful grandstand and talk to the nice people around you, they start relaxing you down. And you're like, okay, great day out there. It's like having a picnic with friends and families. And then you just, yeah, exactly. And that totally just relaxes you down. And that's what I'm going to, you know, enjoy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really beautiful day. Everyone will be really happy.
Yeah. Well, listen, if we could all take these big moments in life and just treat it as a picnic, we'd all be doing well, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that's a great outlook. I love it.
Who's helped you the most?
Oh, look, I've had a few people really, really help me on this journey. Probably Maddie Morris. She became a bit of a personal trainer to me over in Melbourne, and she's a picnic jockey, so an amateur jockey over there. And I was fit, but a different kind of fitness, you know, and having to suddenly go and do all those rigorous parts to the jockey fitness test, I was in a world of pain. So she was brilliant. She kept me on the straight and narrow because I'm not the best at being structured in things like fitness, and I hate the gym. So she was brilliant, really good. And look, I've got a great crew coming out with me from Australia. I think we're going to absolutely flood this place, and I fear for the bars afterwards if anything does happen. But yeah, we've got a great crew.
You'll be drinking, celebrating, whatever happens. And you know what, girls, it's been an absolute pleasure, Victoria and Charlotte, to meet you. And let's hope it's a picnic for the pair of them.
Yeah, good stuff, and a nice preview of the Magnolia Cup, which you'll be able to see on Racing TV later on today. And 5.5 furlongs is the trip. The runners and riders detailed for you there. What's the Hurry? Jasmine Watts, Galloping Green Man, and Nemanja Peters Mechik, Doha Dreaming, Ruth Inman, and Optima, Victoria Wang, American Muscle, and Zoe Schorsch. And you've got Wonderland, Alice Hawker, you've got Turbo Trotter and Gemma Owen, you've got Like No Other, Joanna Bovis, you've got Ton of Fun, Armanita Reed, you've got Coral Adaid, Iman Rasul Hila, and you've got Messaid and Charlotte Littlefield, Education Above All for Iona Wells. Good luck to all of them riding in the Markel Magnolia Cup. Let's have a chat to James Mackey now, Betfair sponsoring our coverage today. James, how are you?
Yes, very well, thanks, Angus. How are you?
Yeah, I'm in good form. I've enjoyed the 2 days of the festival so far, with Scandinavia and Bo Echo being the highlights. But it was a good day for punters yesterday, wasn't it?
Well, what a day, Angus, it was for punters yesterday. 6 out of the 7 favourites winning at Goodwood. The first 5 races all saw the favourites win. It's not every day we see results like that, and congratulations to those that got on the 5-fold. Actually, he paid around 210 to 1, and we've got quite a few happy punters who backed that 5-fold as well, so congratulations to them. We're hoping that we don't see something similar today. The price today on the first 5 favourites winning is around 223 to 1. And well, can lightning strike twice today for punters? We'll have to wait and see. But we want everyone to remember these big festivals are also always on at the same time. The marathon's not sprints, so please gamble responsibly. And do check out our safer gambling tools, which help everyone keep your betting fun. But it's a long week, isn't it? But it was a great day for punters yesterday, Angus.
Oh, it was a really good day. It was an enthralling day's action. And today's going to be really good as well, James. I have absolutely no doubt about that. Let's have a look at the Nassau Stakes in terms of the prices available with Betfair at the moment. And you can tell us where the money's been going today.
Yeah, the feature race is just 5 runners, and Diamond Necklace is having her first run in England, isn't she? Having been running in France for quite a lot of her career, but she's the clear 4 to 5 favourite. But she is the topic of our Super Boost today, Angus, where we've boosted her to make it 6 wins in a row and retain her unbeaten record today to even money from 4 to 5 to win the Group 1 contest today. She's been absolutely superb in both her runs this season at Longchamp and Chantilly, taking the French 1000 Guineas, then the Prix de Diane, and if she's in the same form, she'll take every bit of beating today. And like I said, Betfair punters are getting even money on her to do so today. Friendly Soul for the Gosdens is a big challenger at around 5 to 2, and this season has not really gone to plan. plan for her as yet, but she still retains plenty of ability. And off the back of her 4-year-old form, she can go close today and being a Prix de l'Opera winner. See the Fire for Andrew Borden, who's going great guns at the moment, has pretty much all season his 11-2 chance, but was disappointing when last seen at the top level on the Group 1 Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot. And whether that horse is an out-and-out Group 1 performer, we'll have to wait and see till today. I saw you obviously doing a piece just before on Botagoz for Roger Varian. I think that horse could take a big step up today. The horse will need to, because you see a price at 12-1. She hasn't been pitched into this level against this calibre of horses, but she's the unknown and unexposed one in the field, isn't she? And 12-1 is a big price about her, but she could be the improver. But the story of the race is all about Diamond Necklace, the clear favourite, the star attraction of the day today. And if you fancy her, like I said, we're offering even money from 4-5 for her to keep her unbeaten record today.
Okay, 4-5 Diamond Necklace. Perhaps a slightly better price than you'd imagine she would be. Let's have a chat about the Gordon Stakes as well and see what we can make of that. It's a race that might be dominated by the Irish raiders. They've got Shehan in here, Enceladus, who is favourite, and Geryon as well. Joseph O'Brien with the favourite. No surprises there.
No surprise at all, Angus. What a season he's having. It's another competitive event, and then the Royal Ascot winner, Enceladus, is the 7-4 favourite to make it 3 from 3 this season, and has been heavily backed this morning, actually in from 100 to 30. The step up to 1 mile 4 in the King George V Stakes, look, the making of him, and now he tries his arm at this trip at group level, and the punters seem to think that he can make that jump up today. Bay of Brilliance for Rafe Beckett has been steady in the betting around 3-1, but needs to bounce back in a big way, really, from his poor showing in the German Derby when only beating 1 home. But that wasn't his true showing, and maybe he can get back on track today. Geryon for Jer Lyon steps up in trip for this event and was a nice winner over 1 mile 1 furlong last time out in the Group 3 Meld Stakes, beating Cowder the County quite well that day. He has the proven group form. It's just a question whether he'll improve for the trip today. But he's been in around 5-1, just back into 4-1 for the last few moments. But the story of this race at the moment is all the money we've seen for Enceladus, and you can see why punters are backing a Joseph O'Brien horse with the season he's had so far.
Yeah, the very progressive sort who won at Ascot last time up. And I get that as far as the Gordon Stakes is concerned this afternoon. Let's talk 2-year-olds now and have a look at the Richmond Stakes market. And Flan Sunner, some very positive data about Flan Sunner's couple of career starts, both of which he has won. And he's 11-8 at the head of the market. Is he the one for money?
He is the one for money, Angus. Yeah, 3 places on offer in this race, but Flan Sunner, 11-8 at the top of the market for the Simon and Ed Crisford team, has been really strong in the betting. As you see, 11-8 on screen there, was around 13-8, and there hasn't been much else backed really in the race bar this favourite. Obviously, really, really impressive in the 2 runs at Windsor and Ascot, and just looks a fast improving type for connections and a trainer that obviously know how to deal with this type of horse. His biggest rival in the field looks to be the Aidan O'Brien trained man's best friend at around 11-2, who got off the mark last time out, a nice and impressive style. Cut a dash for Richard Hannon, who was a good... He's had a good week, Richard Hannon. I think he's had 2 winners already at Goodwood so far, and this was a winner at York on debut and ran a credible race at Royal Ascot when last seen finishing just a length behind Great Barrier Reef in the Group 2 Coventry Stakes, and that looks strong form here. There's a lot of Coventry Stakes form when you look through the race. He could be the each-way player around 15-2. Night in Vegas was just 1 place back in that Coventry in 5th, and he's been well back from 7-1 into around 11-2 today, and he's a course and distance winner as well, 2 start to go at Goodwood. A Day of Scarlet has been the bridesmaid the last 3 times, has more experience than most in this field, was actually second in that Coventry Stakes by half a length. He's around 9-1 to get back to winning ways. It's a fascinating race, Angus. Will the Coventry Stakes form come to the fore, or will we see the favourite Flan Sunner extend his unbeaten record at around 11-8? And he's the money horse so far in this race.
Yeah, plenty of people are all over Flan Sunner in this race to complete the hat-trick. Anything else on the card that's being well backed that we should make note of, or have we touched on most things?
Well, obviously we've got Galway running pretty much alongside today, not as late as we've seen over the past few days, but Two horses from Galway that have actually piqued my interest when looking through the markets in the 245 listed race for fillies. Meriden for Dennis Hogan is now the 6-4 favourite, having been as big as 11-4 this morning. Also in the same race, and probably an even bigger move, is the Joseph Murphy's Pivotal Attack, who was a double figure price around 11-1 this morning, but now third favourite at 9-2. So 2 to watch out for in the same race at 245.
Good stuff, James. Thanks very much indeed for that info about Galway and particularly about Goodwood as well. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks, Angus.
James Mackey of Betfair sponsoring our coverage today. He was chatting about what happened yesterday and what was a good day for punters. We'll have a look back at that in a moment.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Timeform.
They're on. At Betfair, racing isn't just the sport of kings, it's the sport of opinions too.
Epic Poet has his day.
Of those in the know.
And he's going to win the Tingle Creek Chase.
And those in luck. Maybe you leave your pick till the parade ring. Maybe you've had its name ringed for months.
Winning the graduation.
Maybe it's the pace mapping. Maybe it's because they're grey. Maybe everyone's a pundit until the winning post. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours at Betfair.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Timeform.
The placings remain unaltered.
And it's now James Doyle on Wild Blossom who've taken it up and go on by a length. And Wild Blossom wins. Flora Bermuda and Sarita Dayan, this pair together now. Flora Bermuda narrowly in front. Sarita Dayan neck behind in second place. To the end of the closing stages. Pashada, the light blue jacket, coming home strongest of all, and she's got through. She's going to win. Pashada and Sean Levy.
For all that there are 40-some races here, there is one that has been garnering all the attention.
Started the purple has grabbed the lead. Boeco in the yellow is coming to get him. Boeco has gone up to win the champion mile of Chorley.
One of the best horses I'll ever partner. He's a dream come true.
Billy Loughnane there yesterday, delighted, understandably so, with his Sussex Stakes success on Boeco. The Stewards' Cup draw will take place a little bit later on this morning. We're anticipating about 12 o'clock. Here is the 28 that have been declared. Soldiers Tree, Dubai Bling, Northern Champion, Mitbahi, Westacre, Sondad, Run Boy Run, Two Tribes, Get It, Completely Random. In pretty good form. That horse gets on well with Ryan Moore, Garfield Shadow, Tuco Salamanca, Stratus 9, who won last time up at York, Anaf as well. Moving on to Invictus Gold, Fandom, Far Above Dream. Now you've got a Hammer the Hammer, Realign. It's a nice horse for the William Haggis team. Flash Harry, Berkshire Whisper, Candy, Fetus, King of Light, Dark 30 Evening, Saigon, Gold Star Hero, Toca Madeira as well. So that draw taking place around about midday. In the meantime, we are going to take a look at the Richmond Stakes. Let's set this race up by having a look at the last 10 winners, their prices as well, connections involved with them too. Memas in 2016, he's a really good stallion now, isn't he? Memas for Richard Hannon, Frankie Dettori is a 7-2 shot. Barraquero, Land Force, Golden Horde, Supremacy, Asymmetric, Royal Scotsman, Van Dijk, nice winner in 2023. Black Forza, and last year Koppel won it at 5-1 for Clive Cox and David Probert. This is how they bet at the moment. Flanson is on a hat-trick, 11-8 for the Crisfords and William Buick. Man's Best Friend is 11-2. Night in Vegas, who's won here at Goodwood before, got a bit of track craft about him, 11-2. 15-2, Cutter Dash, who was fourth in the Coventry. It's a Great Barrier Reef. A Day of Scarlet has been very consistent and tough this season, 9-1. 12's Yankee Turkey, Where Love Lives It's 12 to 1. Big Cigar 40s. It's 40s Hickory Lad. And Mr. McCartney is 80 to 1. 10 go then in the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Cutter Dash is an interesting runner for Richard Hannon. Sean Levy rides. Cutter Dash has just had a couple of starts to date in his career. He was impressive when he won at York. That was the Dante meeting. He did that really well, and then he was 4th in the Coventry Stakes. That was a really good run from him. He is one of a number of runners with decent chances in the Richmond Stakes, although Flan Sunna is a pretty warm order at the head of the market. Let's get the thoughts of Chris and Tom now on course.
Thanks, Aggie. So why don't we start with Cutter Dash then, looking to make it another juvenile winner for Richard Hannon off the back of a no score at Royal Ascot, but I guess a bit like the winner yesterday, ran a good race at that meeting and came out and won. Can Cutter Dash do the same?
Yeah, ran a really good race behind Great Barrier Reef. It was a bunched up finish, and there's a few of them out that race, and there isn't a great deal between them, is there? So it's a real tight-knit little form line. I suppose you're kind of asking the question, was anyone unfavoured by the conditions that day? Which horse is going to be more favoured by how this is likely to play out on a different track and all of that? And it is really tight between all of those horses. You've got Night in Vegas, who's out of the same race, obviously, at Royal Ascot, and he's got winning form here already, but that was in a very small field, so quite what you read into that, I don't know. But it's just very hard, I think, between all of those horses to really take a strong view.
Well, Cutter Dash showed lots of toe at York when winning on debut. What's your feeling about how strong a race this was? Plenty of debutants in here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a valuable race. It's often a reasonable enough one. I don't think it was necessarily red hot, but I don't think it was a bad race. It's not a race that has thrown up loads of winners from the beaten horses, but he was such a cosy winner that you kind of felt like that you don't really know how far superior he is to the rest of them. He moved through it very comfortably, and once he picked up and went clear, it was really quite a cosy success. That was over 5 furlongs. I thought he benefited from going up to 6 next time at Ascot. You can see how strong he is through the line here, and I think that this is going to be more his trip than the 5 furlongs. That's kind of backed up by his pedigree as well. And yeah, I think he's a horse that has likely got more improvement in him. My hunch is that he will uphold the form with the likes of Night in Vegas from Ascot, and he will manage to get the better of him again.
Night in Vegas, who went into Ascot off the back of a win here. That was over course and distance, beating Love Is when entitled to do so, to be honest.
Yes, he was obviously carrying a penalty on this occasion. He had a Hannon horse in Shadow King, who had won before and has won after, in behind him that day. He was carrying a penalty for a debut win at Ascot, where he stuck to his test quite willingly. This is a sharper test today in all likelihood, and you can see here he sort of responds well to pressure at the track in a very small field. He moved through the race absolutely fine. I do think it's just a little bit of a question mark at this track in a more competitive scenario, what sort of pace he'll have for it, but can't really knock him, and he's closely matched with Cutter Dash. Just looking at the market as it stands, Night in Vegas is slightly shorter than Cutter Dash. I'm not sure I'd have it that way around. He finished in front of him when he was a less experienced horse, did Cutter Dash.
I wonder if it's a course and distance factor with Night in Vegas.
Quite possibly, but as I say, it's what relevance that course and distance form has, given that it was a 3-runner race. I know you've come to the track and you can't take it as a negative, and it's a positive, but whether it's as marked a positive as if he'd have won in a bigger field, a more similar scenario to what he's in today, is I think the question, and I'd say it's probably not as significant as if he'd have done it in that scenario.
What do you think of A Day of Scarlet, who's got 5 runs to his name so far and never finished out the first 2?
He's got a lot of experience, and he's got a high level of form, hasn't he? And he's been very, very consistent. Feel like he might be vulnerable to something, as has been the case when he's been beaten in group company on his last couple of starts. This is obviously his most recent run. Yeah, 3 runners in the July Stakes. Inner City Blues beats him. Hickory Lad is in behind him, and it's not a race that had enough overall depth to it to draw really, really strong opinions from, but he finished in front of Cutter Dash in the Coventry, and again he's a bigger price than Cutter Dash. He was the one that finished second in the Coventry, and yet he had the other two behind him. But it comes back to that initial point about Cutter Dash, that he went into the Coventry with just the one run behind him. And A Day of Scarlet was kind of a battle-hardened horse at that point. He went into that with 3 runs already on the board, including at Sandown Enlisted Company. So I feel like we've kind of got, for now, to his level, and there might be horses to progress past him. I think Cutter Dash might be one of them, but for me, they're all up against it. I think Flan Sun is a really good horse, and I think he'll be hard to beat.
Okay, Flan Sun are hard to beat. Would you back him at 11 to 8 or there or thereabouts? Yes.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
I like it when you're authoritative like that. Dominant. Strong.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you need any more?
No, that's all we need to know. Good. Flan Sun for Chris Dixon, who got one of the juvenile races with a strong opinion right yesterday with Wild Blossom. Let's head back to Rachel.
World famous jockey coach George Baker. We are so excited about today for the Machel Magnolia Cup, and we've come to the finish post.
Yeah, they've moved the winning line up to the half furlong pole, Rachel, just because it gives the ladies that are riding the race more time to pull up. Obviously, the pull up here is quite tight, and they can free wheel to the turn, and obviously staying in their lane's key. But it's a big day for them. Just done the course walk, and they're very excited.
Yeah, it's massive. I've been chatting to Charlotte and Victoria all the way from Australia. I mean, they are buzzing for today, and it's such an amazing thing to take on, isn't it? You know, kind of all the work that goes into it, whether you're an amazing rider to start with, or you're kind of just picking it up from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's a long process. Obviously, they're identified the year before, and then they go up to the British Racing School in early December to start the assessment process. And there's a big pool of girls that start, ladies, and then it's just through that process, it's whittled down. Obviously, their fitness is tested, their riding skills, and then they start being brought along, and they come and see us for lessons. The team of coaches, which we look after through the JCP, and it's a really, really good experience. But it's a lot of time given. Then they start riding out in early January. The guys haven't done it before. It's a massive experience.
Oh my gosh! And then it all builds up to today. And do you know what, George? What I absolutely love about the Magnolia Cup, it's not an afterthought. You know, oh yeah, it's the charity race. We'll put it on before or after. They make such a big deal of it here at Goodwood, and you know, it's really quiet now, the stands. But come the time when they're, you know, battling for position, trying to stay in their lane, this place will be going wild.
Yeah, it will. And I think the key thing to note is they're down at the kennels getting changed now, and they come up, and the paddock will be packed, and it's the busiest for this meeting. The paddock is at its busiest. There's so many people that want to be involved in this. It's a massive thing for charity that Goodwood do. The team of girls that they get involved to do it really have to be engaged, and the experience, you can't buy it. And I just hope, as we do every year, that everyone's safe and they're able to absorb and enjoy it, because it's over so quickly. You know, it's less than a minute, the race.
And as a jockey's coach, I mean, obviously, technically, you can advise, improve their skills. What about mentally? And how do we kind of cope with such an amazing day experience and all the nerves? Like, what are you saying to them?
Well, I think it's,
or any rider on a big day, actually.
Ultimately, you're trying to get the horse from A to B in a straight line and keeping it balanced. And if you're tense and not thinking about the animal that you're controlling, that's when it becomes difficult. So it's you've just got to understand, it's very much like driving on the motorway, Rach, that you're processing what's going on around you at all times, not just thinking about what you look like. And I'm not, that's no dig at you at all.
I think it was.
I'm sure you're a good driver.
Is that what you do when you're driving down the motorway? Think about how you're looking.
Only when I've got the shades on.
Listen, I'm really excited for them. I'm nervous for them, actually. And as you say, all the hard work. There will be people watching at home thinking, oh, I wonder, could I ever ride in that race? Maybe someone who's never sat on a horse before. I mean, how difficult would it be to kind of take them through the process?
Well, we've had people that have done it before that haven't ridden, but it's normally a year long process. So they get into it. We give them the tools to sort of what they need to do, and they start the process in the December the following year. It can be done. I mean, it's a lot. The difficulty is if you're working, it's hard to find the time to fit it in.
Yeah. Well, it's like running a marathon, you know, all the training, all the dedication, it's months, isn't it?
Exactly, and there's a lot of, you need a lot of experience of getting on a horse and riding them out. That's where you improve the most, and obviously with the team of coaches we've got, we do that. But Goodwood do a very good job in giving them all the tools to be seen to best effect and all the help they need.
Yeah, and you've been massive in it, world famous.
I'm not world famous, but I've been coaching a long time now,
amazing.
And I've been doing this job for Goodwood for since I stopped race riding, and it's really great. It's improving every year, and the biggest advances they made is that moving the winning line is a big help to them. It could just give them more time to pull up safely.
And I think all we can say now is good luck to all of them, and well, we'll find out not too long to go ahead of the Markham Magnolia Cup, who will be looking to pull up their horse just before they get to that bend and come back as the champion.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Timeform.
From Gold Cups to Grand Nationals, the latest big races to the famous clashes of the past, Racing TV's YouTube channel has it all.
Rachel Blackmore, history in the National, Minella Times win.
Catch up on episodes of shows that you might have missed, or enjoy hours of replays of some of your favourite races from the last 20 years. Simply head to YouTube and search for Racing TV. You'll never be far away from watching the next big race.
Mark your card. Proudly sponsored by Timeform.
Out here on track with Emma Chammings, head of marketing and communications for Goodwood, and this is the lady that looks forward to the Magnolia every single year since 2011, and it just seems, Emma, that it's getting bigger and better than ever.
It is. It's really an extraordinary race. The interest that we get, the applications and number of people that want to ride in the race is over 100 now every single year. So we've had to come up with a ballot system and come up with a real process to be able to kind of make sure those 12 spots are so well allocated, and also fundamentally raising enough money for charity, which is what the race is all about.
Yes, and it's education above all, which is a very important charity. We were having a little chat, weren't we? You know, maybe some of us take for granted, you know, that we have education available to us, but sadly that's not the case for everybody in the world.
No, and I think, you know, none of us would be in the positions we are in today without the education that we have received, and this year the money will be going to Education Above All, a wonderful charity. And overall, I think the race has raised over 3.5 million for different charities, which is a phenomenal amount of money. So yeah, it's something we at Goodwood here are very proud of. It's unique running along a major festival like this. But
to be part of a major festival,
it makes it so special.
That's the whole thing, isn't it? And George Baker, we were chatting about, you know, the coaching and getting all the girls ready, but also, you know, just to kind of bottle the experience and realise that this is massive, and you're only going to ride in the race once.
Absolutely, and it's amazing the launch pad that the Magnolia Cup has given for many people. I mean, so many riders have gone on to be racehorse owners and ridden other charity races and bring loads of family and friends to racing here that they might not have come otherwise. So I think it's the knock-on effect that the race has.
Well, it's their introduction to racing, and you're kind of hoping that you know, it will kick on from there. But you know, I can see loads like Khadija Mella, Rosie as well.
Exactly.
You know, we see her floating about doing the TV here at Goodwood.
Yeah, and that was their first intro to racing. So you know, we're very proud of what the race has achieved and continues to achieve throughout the years.
Yeah, and all over the world as well. I was chatting with Victoria and Charlotte earlier. You know, Victoria going to be the first woman from Beijing, China, to ride in it as well, and both of them have come from Melbourne.
Exactly. I think the international factor is something we're always trying to do for our other races, let alone the Magnolia Cup. So to, you know, show it everywhere is really something we're proud of.
Yeah, and how excited are you? Are you nervous for them?
I am. It's a real process. I think when you're so close to the detail with all the riders and, you know, you're on the WhatsApp group and everyone's messaging, and, you know, George has been fantastic. He helps them on the coaching side. But it's a huge team effort, and yeah, just all we want to do is be a safe race and yeah, raise lots of money.
Nerves, that's it. Fingers crossed for all of them. Emma, thank you so much. That is, of course, the Magnolia Cup here at Goodwood today. Such a successful event since 2011.
Good luck to all the participants in today's Markel Magnolia Cup. The Coral Stewards Cup draw has often taken place behind me, but that is where we're welcoming the Magnolia Cup participants. So we're at a slightly different location. They have been there before, and the man conducting it all for the Coral Stewards Cup draw back in his rightful place is Nick Luck.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the 2026 Coral Stewards Cup draw, one of the great marquee sprint handicaps of the season. Delighted to be joined by David Stevens from the sponsors Corals, lending their support to this event once again, and also by Mike Waring, our independent adjudicator from the British Horse Racing Authority, who is satisfied that the names of all 28 horses who've made the cut for the Stewards Cup are in this drum to my left. And when David Stevens picks out the horse's name, the representative for each horse has 1 minute, as adjudicated by Mike, to pick their stall. 1 through 28, 28 being nearest to the stand side, 1 being nearest to the far side rail. News of the going, well, it is expected to remain good to firm throughout the week. Been speaking to clerk of the course, Ed Arkle. He doesn't anticipate putting any further water on the straight course tonight, but he does anticipate putting water on the straight course, on the Stewards Cup course, to the tune of 3 to 5 millimetres on Friday evening going into Saturday. We're going to get further news on where the best part of the track might be from Mike Mayer from Turf Tracks, who joins us now. Mike, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nick.
Right, tell us how the track's holding up this week and how you'd expect the going to be distributed across the track.
Yeah, well, as you've just said, the going is good to firm, good in places at the moment, and what a great job the ground staff team here at Goodwood have done to keep it that way. Readings across the straight, the overall reading is 7.4, and across the straight we've got 7-1 on the stand side, 7-1 in the centre, and just slightly higher up the far side at the moment, 7-3. So pretty even.
Over on the far side, so lower numbers, there's actually a higher reading on the stick.
That's correct, particularly where the fresh ground has opened up from the 3 furlong point. That's where the quicker part of the course is. So even stand and centre, slightly quicker up the far side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.
Mike Mayer from Turf Tracks. A little bit of a surprise to me, maybe, that the faster ground at the moment is over on the far side where the lower numbers are. Dave Stevens, how lively has this market been?
Yeah, look, it'll be much livelier on the day, of course, but from an anti-post perspective, there's no question the mover in recent days has been 2 Tribes. Last year's winner. The last dual winner of the race was Comanche Falls. Comanche Falls. So it can be done, of course. So it'll be interesting to see where Phil and the team decide to go with 2 Tribes. Current favourite is still Far Above Dream, but as I say, 2 Tribes has got the momentum and could well start favourite.
Fantastic. Well, I think we are ready to proceed with the Coral Stewards Cup draw. Mike is giving me the nod. I think everybody's present and correct. I know that Hugo Palmer is running a bit late. He's nominated Ken Pitterson. That's right, Ken, just confirmed from you. You're going to be doing the draw if he's not here for Stratus 9 and Dubai Bling. I can see the Cunningham Spencer team here. John Quinn is here. Alex Cole. I think we're all present and correct. James Owen with a brace of runners in the race. So let's do it.
Thank you, Nick. And the first one out is the favourite, Far Above Dream.
Far Above Dream for James Owen. Kieran Schumark takes the ride. You can't put this in until he's given the draw. 23, says James Owen. Far Above Dream. So James has immediately declared somewhere toward the stand side for Far Above Dream. Lucy Hughes has been helping us with the Coral Stewards Cup draw for about the last 2 decades. She probably won't thank me for saying, but thank you for thank you for helping us again, Lucy. Next one out.
Can I put this in now?
And put this in the bargain bin now.
The next one out is Toca Madeira.
Toca Madeira is the Mount of Safi Osborne for Dave O'Mara, and Dave won this race with Aberama Gold and with Summergang. Chris Dixon has gone 26, Aberama Gold. So, I beg your pardon. Toca Madeira, 26. Toca Madeira. There we are for Chris Dixon.
There is a 25 to 1 shot currently.
Thank you. Trying to get a winner of a few years ago back in the field there for a second. Right, Steve-O.
The next one out is Soldier's Tree.
James Owen again, Soldier's Tree, fast progressive sprinter. Mason Paytel, big ride for him, the £5 claimer. 20 for Soldier's Tree. So everybody going high at the moment.
And that is amongst the favourites at 12 to 1.
All right. 3 out, 25 to go. Dave?
Next up is Berkshire Whisper.
Berkshire Whisper is next for Andrew Balding, who won this with Dancing Star. Annalisa is here. 19, says Annalisa. Nobody wants the low numbers at the moment. 19 for Berkshire Whisper.
I'm going to place that in there.
Sheen Murphy taking the ride on Berkshire Whisper. And next out,
Fandom.
Fandom is next for Richard Hannon. Sean Levy taking the ride. And Ken Pitterson is going to do the draw for Richard. 22 for Fandom.
Fandom is a 20 to 1 chance.
Okay. Next out.
Garfield Shadow.
Garfield Shadow is next. Hamad Al-Jahani, I think, is here. Is he? No, Richard Brown for Watnan Racing. 28. Right up the stand side rail for the Watnan horse.
Which is currently 40 to 1.
40 to 1, Garfield Shadow. Next out.
Mitbahi.
Mitbahi. Jamie Spencer's going to take the ride on Mitbahi for Charlie Hills, who won the race with Cardem. And Jimmy Daly is here to do the honours for Charlie. Oh, you're going to do it, Alex. Alex Cole representing Fitri Hay. 25 for Mitbahi, who was an excellent second in a stakes race at Newbury last time.
And Mitbahi is currently 14 to 1.
14 to 1. Mitbahi in the Hay Silks for Charlie Hills.
Get It.
Winner 2 years ago, Get It. George Baker is right at the back of the room. 27 for Get It. So all these high numbers being filled up.
One of the great scenes when Mark Tracy and the gang led this in. He's 25 to 1 to do so again.
Get It to retain his Stewards' Cup crown.
Run Boy Run.
Run Boy Run was 4th last year for Richard Spencer and Phil Cunningham. They got 3 in the race. They also run 2 Tribes and Candy. Run Boy Run is coming from stall 24 for Run Boy Run.
All the highs disappearing. Run Boy Run is a 25 to 1 chance.
No difference of opinion at all, even though that Turf Track's going stick says the quicker ground is on the far side at the moment.
Sondad.
Sondad is going to be ridden by Joe Mason for Mick and David Easterby. Steph Easterby is here. Sondad, winner of the Scurry Stakes last time at the Curragh. 21, says Steph.
Currently a 12 to 1 chance, and Hugo has now made it here. He hasn't missed anything.
I know. I don't know whether it's good news or bad news that that Hugo hasn't missed his horses.
Our next one out is Realign.
Realign represents William Haggis and Watnan. William won this with Conquest and Rex Imperator. I don't know. Are you doing the honours here again, Richard? 18, says Richard Brown, for the potentially really quite well handicapped Realign.
Which is a 25 to 1 chance.
Next out.
Flash Harry.
Flash Harry for Clive Cox. Jack Nichols, whose grandfather won this race on the Great Sober many years ago.
Yeah.
And won it as a trainer many times too.
Indeed.
14. 14 for Flash Harry. Right up the middle. Still nobody wants the far side.
25 to 1 shots.
Okay. Next out.
Westacre.
Westacre for George Scott. Dara Keenan's going to ride Westacre. Jonathan Harding from the Racing Post is here doing duties on their behalf. 17 it is. 17.
Westacre, a 20 to 1 chance.
Next out is...
Hammer the Hammer.
Hammer the Hammer, Kevin Ryan. I think, yeah, Peter Fahey's here for Kevin. 16, Pete, 16 for Hammer the Hammer. He'll be ridden by Toby Moore. Toby Moore claiming 7.
25 to 1.
25 to 1, Hammer the Hammer. Next out
is Dubai Bling.
Dubai Bling. So William Buick is now riding for Hugo Palmer. Hugo took the race in 2018 with Gifted Master. 2. He's broken for the border. The first one to do so. Going low. 2, Dubai Bling.
Which is a 12 to 1 shot.
All right, Dubai Bling, a winner at Ascot last time.
Candy.
Candy is one of the runners for Phil Cunningham and Richard Spencer. 1. They go the far side with Candy.
33 to 1 at the moment.
Right up against that far side rail, Candy, who ran here just the other day.
Anaf.
Anaf having his 3rd go in the race for Mick Appleby, running 22 and 25. Danny Muscat riding Martin Dixon. 6 for Anaf. Very high-class sprinter, won a big pot in Saudi Arabia a few years ago.
16 to 1 for Anaf.
16 to 1 Anaf, with Corals the sponsor of the Stewards Cup.
Tuca Salamanca.
Tuco Salamanca's interesting jockey booking here. Dylan Brown McMonagle's going to take the ride here for Ollie Sangster. Owen Haley, I think, for Pompey Ventures, who had a winner yesterday, is here. George Baker, I think, is going to do it for him. Tuco Salamanca. You got the clock on, Mike. 15 it is for Tuco Salamanca, who was about 4th or 5th favourite when I looked beforehand.
He is 14 to 1.
14 to 1. Tuco Salamanca.
Gold Star Hero.
Gold Star Hero is next out. Michael Bell. Rishi Prasad right in front of me here. 4, Rishi. Gold Star Hero. In stall 4, so the low number's starting to fill now.
Beautifully chosen, I thought, by Rishi.
Beautifully done. Very elegant gesture.
33 to 1.
Didn't make any difference to his price.
Invictus Gold.
Invictus Gold is next. Tom Clover, I think I have seen. I have. 3 for Tom Clover. Invictus Gold.
25 to 1.
All right, we are getting down to the business then now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to come. Steve-O, you're doing a great job.
Have Ferris.
Ferris, Callum Rodriguez for Jack Shannon. Who is here for Jack? Yes, Mo Hussain. 12, thank you, Mo. All right, Ferris.
20 to 1 shot.
Next out
is Stratus 9.
Stratus 9, winner at York last week. Another one for Hugo Palmer. David Probert takes the ride. 5, says Hugo. Stratus 9 in stall 5.
A 16 to 1 chance currently.
Still waiting for 1 or 2 key fancies here. Dark 30 and Northern Champion, completely random.
King of Light.
King of Light is the next one out. King of Light. Thank you very much, Katie. Stuart Williams, represented by Katie Margison here. King of Light in stall 7.
And a 25 to 1 chance.
All right.
We have the well-back 2 Tribes.
Defending champion, 2 Tribes, winner last year for Richard Spencer and Phil Cunningham. 13 it is, straight up the middle for 2 Tribes. Can he repeat last year's heroic?
And he is that well-back 10 to 1 shot to do so.
All right, so we've still got Northern Champion, completely random. Dark 30, an Evening Saigon.
Dark 30.
Dark 30, second in the Scurry Stakes last time for John and Sean Quinn. John is here. 8 it is for Dark 30.
14 to 1.
Just a 14 to 1 shot. Dark 30, been very consistent this season. Winner of a valuable prize at York at the Dante Festival.
Evening Saigon.
Evening Saigon is next. Another one for Wathnan. Hamad Al-Jahani. And Richard is here. It's a tough one. It's 9, 10, or 11. 10 it is. Straight up the middle. Well chosen, sir. 10 for Evening Saigon.
16 to 1. we have left?
We should have 2 left.
Northern Champion.
That's good. You read the script. Northern Champion. Ed Walker is here. Ashley Lewis claims 5. Very promising apprentice. Stall 9, says Ed, for Northern Champion, the 3rd top weight. And that, appropriately enough, leaves a horse called...
Well, does it? Completely Random.
Completely Random it is, and the Charlton stable won this under Rogers' care with Harmonic Way, with Patavelian, with Jenke. Paul, the owner of Completely Random, is here, so I have to ask, just for the completeness of this process, 11 it is. 11 it is for Completely Random, so there you go. Strongly fancied horse as well. Ryan Moore, right?
16 to 1.
16 to 1, Completely Random. And he's 4 stalls away from Hammer the Hammer, who'll be ridden by Ryan's son, Toby. So that completes the lineup then for the Coral Stewards Cup 2026. Soldier's Tree in 20, Dubai Bling in 2, Northern Champion in 9, Mitbahi 25, Westaker 17, Sondad 21, Run Boy Run in 24. Last year's winner, 2 Tribes in 13. The winner 2 years ago, Get It up the stand side in 27. Completely Random was the last one out in stall 11. Garfield Shadow has the stands rail 28. Tuco Salamanca right up the middle under Dylan Brown McMonagle in 15. Stratus 9, the York winner in 5. Anaf having his 3rd run in the race in 6. Invictus Gold in 3. Fandom 22. Far Above Dream, the favourite in 23. Hammer the Hammer 16. Realign 18. Stable bidding to win it for the 3rd time. Flash Harry 14 under young Jack Nichols. Berkshire Whisper in 19 for the Baldings. Candy, the Spencer Cunninghams all across the track. They've gone in 1 with Candy. Ferris in 12. King of Light 7. Dark 30. The Curragh runner-up in 8. Evening Saigon quite well fancied in 10. The Gold Star Hero in 4. And Tokamadera is in 26. David Stevens, do you anticipate any major changes to the market?
I don't. I think we've seen there people obviously went high to start with, then Hugo went low with the first and others followed suit. So I think we're pretty much as we are for the time being.
Fantastic. David, thank you very much, and thank you very much for your support of the Coral Stewards Cup. We will see you all on Saturday afternoon for one of the great handicaps of the year. That is the draw. We're all set to go. Enjoy a wonderful afternoon today. Coverage continuing very shortly on Racing TV. We will see you very soon. Thank you for the moment.
There you have it. You know your draw from Candy to Garfield Shadow, 1 to 28 for the Coral Stewards Cup. The feature handicap of the meeting takes place on Saturday afternoon. Let's confirm it for you. 3:35, we have the Coral Stewards Cup at... yeah, 3:35 that comes up. The feature race time. Candy 1, Dubai Bling 2, Invictus Gold 3, 4 for Gold Star Hero, 5 for Stratus 9, Anaf in 6, King of Light 7, Dark 38, Northern Champion 9, Evening Saigon 10, Complete Random 11, Ferris 12, 2 Tribes 13, Flash Harry 14, Tuco Salamanca 15, Hammer the Hammer 16, Westaker 17, Realign 18, Berkshire Whisper 19, Soldier's Tree, Sondad Fandom, Far Above Dream, Run Boy Run, Mitbahi, Tokamadera 26, 27, Get It in 28, Garfield Shadow. I wonder if that impacts who you fancy in the race, where they are going to be berthed, and we'll get plenty more clues over the next few days as to where you might want to be drawn in that Coral Stewards Cup 3:35 on Saturday afternoon. Back to Angus, who has been joined by Dave Neverson. Hope Dave's having a good week so far.
We'll find out. I'll put it to him in a moment. To Tom. Welcome, Dave. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Well, let's deal with that question first of all. We'll talk about the draw in a minute, but are you having a good week?
I've not massively troubled the scorers at Goodwood. I had a big price second on the first day.
Yes, right.
2 selections yesterday, but I had a good winner at Sandown last night. So I'm happy enough with the way things are going. I was very frustrated with the first race of the meeting. Usual story, missed the break, ran on late, couldn't get through, didn't quite get the places at huge prices. But that's Goodwood. We do that all the time. So I've had 3 more goes today. But I might have to rethink what I was thinking in the Stewards Cup after that.
Okay.
Because I was gonna use the race in Ireland recently. Sondad beating Dark 30. I thought they were both really interesting. In particular, Dark 30. He's been given stall 8, and you've got to go back 7 years to find a stall 8 finishing in the frame, and most of them are down the field. So I don't think that's ideal. So I'm scratching my head about Saturday now. I think on balance, looking at the numbers of placed horses in recent 5 or 6 years, I'm not at all surprised that all of the connections went for the high numbers. But it's not that long ago a very low number won it. So, yeah, I was surprised when someone went straight in the middle relatively early on, because I always thought that was the place not to be. But having watched the racing this week, there's been quite a lot of big field sprints, and they've tended to shy away from the far rail, go down the middle, look like the far end of the middle as one, and then the stand side has come through to beat them.
Yeah.
So
a lot of horses running well from low, but winning from high.
Yes, that's really a good way of a better way of describing it.
Yeah, the Race IQ draw data historically for races with this number of runners, Dave, at Goodwood over 6 furlongs suggests that stalls 1, 2, 3 and 4 are best.
Right.
Length and a half advantage conferred to 1, 1.3 length conferred to 2, just under a length conferred to stall 3, and half a length to stall 4, about half a length to stall 5. So that brings in 2 of Hugo Palmer's horses, and I'm interested in both of them. Dubai Bling from 2 and Stratus 9 from 5.
Yeah, he was the first trainer to, when the number came out, he went low.
Yeah.
So maybe he's a race IQ subscriber.
Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, that is the draw for the Stewards' Cup. What are Dave's selections, tips today on the website?
Someone better remind me.
We'll just give him a chance to find them and remind himself of what he's tipped. Here we go.
Right, Caraboo, well, all 3 of them have been very well backed. Caraboo backed into clear favourite, some way clear favourite now. 4 runs so far over a mile. Looks very much as though he'll improve for this step up in trip. This time from a stable in good form. Truly Glamorous. His half-sister or half-brother ran really well at the meeting on Tuesday, and I read this morning in Paul Keeley's column in the Racing Post that the dam of this horse won this particular race that it's in a few years ago. So he's on a hat trick. A couple of pounds out of the handicap, but I think it's improving rapidly, and I think the headgear, having seen what it did when it hit the front last time, definitely the headgear might help. And then Get Out of Here, I'm looking for an absolute Spencer masterclass, because he's going to be last.
Yeah.
David Minustier employs Spencer for these sort of rides, and he's got good course form, second over this course, and then ran perhaps a little bit disappointing last time, but I'm hoping he'll bounce back. But he's been back from 9s to 6s. So all 3 still reasonable prices, and all 3 can go well.
Good stuff. Good luck with those, Dave. On the website, racingtv.com, the place to read about those selections. There's plenty more selections for you there on the website this afternoon. Let's now continue with our previews and have a look at the Gordon Stakes. Yeah, the Maison Perrier Gordon Stakes, 1.5 miles, Group 3, 3 o'clock this afternoon. 7 go, and Enchiladas has been pretty well backed. The Joseph O'Brien runner, no surprises there. 7-4, Bay of Brilliance 7-2, 4-1 Geryon. Shehan is 13-2, Sahara King is 10-1, 22-1 Magnitude, and Venetian Lace is the outsider under Jason Hart for Charlie Johnson. That is 22-1. But Enchiladas, who won at Cork and then won at the Royal Meeting at Ascot, is favourite to complete the hat-trick as we go back to Chris and Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Angus. Off the back of a really good win last time. Obviously, that was in handicap company, now rated 99 coming into this. That's a good way behind Bay of Brilliance, so they carry the same weight here, these 2 3-year-olds. Bay of Brilliance was very disappointing in Germany off the back of, I guess, an encouraging run at Epsom, albeit on very testing ground. And the Maltese cross form looks strong also. What do you make of him as a profile, given how poorly he was running last time?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that you can maybe forgive with Bay of Brilliance in Germany last time out. The first one being that he had to travel, and that isn't something that he'd done before. He was going onto a testing surface again, and it was only a month after the run at Epsom in the Derby, which is a really good run, but he does end up having quite a hard race. I don't think he fully saw his race out on deep ground, and for me, just on this kind of ground, his stamina gets stretched by the trip, really. But he's a proven horse at this track. He won here as a 2-year-old over 10 furlongs. I don't think 1.5 miles is a problem for him. I just think when it's 1.5 miles and really deep ground, then maybe that does stretch him. And if he comes out of, if he can bounce back to the kind of form that he was in the Derby, then he's a serious player on ground that might be more to his liking. It'll be more akin to when he was closer to Maltese Cross in the Derby trial. Yeah. More so than the Derby itself, and I wonder whether that was a ground thing with Bay of Brilliance. He might just be better when it's not really testing, perhaps.
Has he achieved more than Enceladus has so far? Enceladus, who was obviously winning at Ascot off the back of the Cork Maiden. Yeah, I think you have to say that he has. I mean, Enceladus wins a maiden at Cork and then he wins at Royal Ascot, but it's a Royal Ascot handicap off a mark of 89. Now, he beat Al Azd, who's come out and proved himself a well enough handicapped horse by winning at Ascot subsequently, and clearly his Ascot form is extremely strong. But it still goes that he's stepping out of handicap company into group company. This is his maiden win at Cork, piece of form that worked out really well. And he's a really well-bred horse, see the stars out of a group class mare, that is unexposed and improving. So yes, Bay of Brilliance has achieved more, but that doesn't mean to say that Enceladus isn't going to be able to catch him potentially, because he's got the pedigree to say that he should be up to, or could be up to, this kind of level, and my feeling is that he will be. I thought he improved for the step up in distance at Ascot. He showed a really good attitude. I like the fact that he's battle hardened and that with each run he is improving. Is Jayan up to this sort of level at this distance, do you think? Which one? Jay Lyons is in. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. I think I mean, he's the Group 3 at Leopardstown. He's been beaten in Group 3 company a few times, hasn't he? Sort of had goes, and then he won the race at Leopardstown last time out. But I think he would need to step forward from this. He got the better of Coward of the County, who had previously been beaten in a listed race at the Curragh over a mile, and I think really that this form would need to be improved upon. So they're taking the logical next step with him. Trip-wise, it's just, will he improve for stepping up in distance, I guess? Yeah, because he needs to. Yeah, to me, his pedigree isn't screaming that he's going to want 1.5 miles and be better for it. And Lope de Vega, you know, related to winners up to 1.5 miles, 1.2 miles. Yeah, it's really up to 10 furlongs his pedigree for me, and so I'd have him out. I mean, this is a relative speed track, isn't it? And it's quickish ground, so he might be fine, but I think he's going to need to improve. And you know, one of your angles to improve is the trip, but I'm not sure it will. I think he might be better at 10. Who do you think will win? I have a feeling that Enceladus will improve enough again. So although he doesn't right now have the best form, I think he's the one that he's going to improve again. And I feel that he's more likely to run his race. There is just a little bit of a doubt hanging over Bay of Brilliance after last time, and it's less than 4 weeks since then. But is that not negated by 7-4 versus 7-2? To an extent, yes. And for me, it's not a race that I'm that interested in betting in. But they're about right prices. I think so. Yeah, I think it's kind of factored in. Yeah, but I think Enceladus is likely to improve. Could I back him at 7-4? You'd have to be making him in your head shorter than 7-4 to be doing that, and I don't think I can. All right, let's head out and find Rachel Casey.
We love that sound. So many people were hoping they'd be hearing that and toasting to Bo Echo yesterday, and thousands wore. Lewis, it's always lovely to see you. Great day yesterday, wasn't it?
Absolutely amazing day, Rachel. Really nice to see you as well this morning. Thanks for stopping by yesterday.
Listen, it's my pleasure. And Frankie, always good to see you. Thank you so much, by the way.
I don't come with a bottle of champagne, sadly, Rach.
It's okay. You can up your game. you can, you know, okay. make yards on that. Right, yesterday.
So much fun. Brilliant day's racing. Probably will go into contention for me personally as one of my favourite days on track this year. It was so good. The Sussex Stakes was everything that we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
All of the right horses were there. The race had that little bit of excitement when we thought, will he, won't he get out? Stard had made his move. It was just perfect.
I know, it really was. And I was the doubter. I was chatting to Tom earlier today, and Billy saying, oh, all those doubters out there. I'm thinking, oh, I was one of them. I just wondered, for the season to do Newmarket, Ascot, come to Goodwood and be able to pull it off. And I'm thinking now he is a proper champion, isn't he?
He's a very special horse, yes. Cheers, by the way. Cheers to Bo Echo. Cheers
to Bo Echo, indeed.
Should we have a sip?
Yeah, absolutely.
That feels good. It tastes good.
It tastes great.
Cheers to them, yes. It was a really special day, wasn't it, on course? And yes, he's a champion. He's answered every question that's been asked of him against some very good horses in different races, and every time he's found a way to win, and that's what great horses do.
And I loved our chat yesterday, talking about him. I think with racehorses and all racing fans, we come to the track and all we do is see them, a couple of circles in the paddock, win the race, get the prize. If you get to see them at home, that is so special, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, if those didn't see, I said I went to see him not long after Ascot, actually, at George Bowie's. And to be honest, the trio, Billy wasn't there, but the trio of Bo Echo, George and Billy are all such cool customers. Bo Echo, all he does apparently is train, eat and sleep, which George was telling me, all good athletes do really. They don't do much else besides put all their effort into their work and their racing. And George Bowie, he had visitors in, important guests as well at the yard, not me, and he rocks up in a pair of swim shorts, casual as you like, chatting away, taking people around the yard. There's this air of confidence without being arrogant, and this sort of young feeling to the three of them, or at least to Billy
It's
and
kind of
George.
like just a few pals like knocking about.
Yeah, and it's so
winning
cool.
Group 1s for fun, champion 3-year-old.
Obviously they're very good at
Can
what
we
they
talk
do,
about
but-
a special guest yesterday?
Okay. Oh,
yes.
Steve Harvey.
Yes.
He's split opinions. Some people are really excited about Steve Harvey. Others were like, remind me who that is. Huge American global TV host. Family Feud is probably the show that you've seen.
He was on Race Day TV, and so many selfies with him. I mean, he must have been so busy, like flat out, taking selfies.
I wasn't leaving without a Steve Harvey interview. And he presented the winners of the Sussex.
Which
so
was great. And how was he? Was he nice?
Great,
yeah.
And he says he loves his racing. He goes to Kentucky Derby. He was telling him about his fishing. But
he was telling you about his fishing.
Yeah, I don't know how we after Bo Echo just won the Sussex. No, not at all. I haven't got the patience for that. But he was cool. He's big into his racing. Very complimentary about Goodwood. He'd had a great day, and that's what you want to see. Obviously, we always come and enjoy it, but for other people to come from around the world and sing the praises of our race courses,
of course,
it's pretty cool.
And that's what Race Day TV, is bringing to the younger generation. And of course, there's a lot of, oh, I like your outfit. Can you tell me about it? How many times a day do you guys have to say that? Go on, give us a rough estimation.
Oh, it's in the hundreds. I think we post probably 500 interviews with race goers from this week. But it's quite easy here because everyone dresses well and is very happy.
And also, there have been a few copycats of Race Day TV.
Yes. Oh, got to fend them off.
Meow.
No.
There are a few.
Hey,
everybody's doing it, and even looking in Ireland, some of the regional, local radio stations, they've got a camera and they've got like some fella from the west of Ireland said, "Oh, I love your frock. Where did you get it?" Yes. I mean, it's just kind of like the effect that Race Day TV has had, and I think for me, watching other media, smaller, big, replicating that. I mean, that's massive for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. It is massive. And it shows what people are enjoying watching as well, because we go off that. We post so many videos on Race Day TV, and you can see those that gain views and those that don't. And that gives you an indication of what people are enjoying to watch.
Yeah.
And look, people love seeing people at the races dressed up, having fun, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's all about the fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And nicely put together today, yeah?
Am I? Thanks.
Yeah, cheers.
As are you, by the way, Rich.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much indeed for that. I've got a fancy later on in the card at Goodwood today, so I'm going to make a case for this horse now. It is Miss Your Chance, who runs in the 5 furlong contest at 4:10 today. Miss Your Chance is a very fast horse. It was last seen in the Palace of Holyrood House Stakes at Royal Ascot behind Baccio, where she lost a shoe on that occasion. Still ran really well, finished back in 7th spot, wasn't beaten all that far from stall 23 for the Carl Burke team. First run for Carl Burke. Now, if you're going to win at Goodwood over 5 furlongs, you've really got to be able to run sub 58 seconds because it's a very fast track. As you know, they run downhill early on and they really get rolling. And Miss Your Chance is lightning fast, as evidenced by what she did at Meydan in January, the only other time she's run over 5 furlongs this year. She's poorly drawn in stall 16. All of the other principals were drawn low. You wanted to be across towards that far side at Meydan in January. Look at the blinding pace she shows early on. She's very quickly away from the stalls. Her second furlong, she nearly gets to 10 seconds, 10.11. She's absolutely rapid. And there highlighted, she's making her way across. And we'll get to the front with a 10.46, which backed up that 10.11. She managed to reach a top speed of 44.4 miles an hour. She did get a bit tired. Her finishing speed percentage was under 100, 97.32%. But she has rattled through those first 2.5 furlongs. She's seen it out strongly enough. In behind, she's got some nice horses. Desperate Heroes, the grey horse. He went on to win a couple of decent handicaps at Meydan after this performance to frank the form a little bit. And all of the other horses that were involved in that finish were drawn low. We saw her a few times after that where she wasn't quite as good at Meydan, but once was on dirt, and she's not as good as dirt as she is on turf, and they were over 6 furlongs as well. So she's back to 5 furlongs as she was at Ascot, and she's got the downhill run as well, which is going to really suit her. She's lightning quick. If nothing else, she's a bit of a back-to-lay play, if you wanted to have a look at that on the exchanges. So that is Miss Your Chance in the 4:10 this afternoon. Let's have a look at some stats for Goodwood as far as 5 furlongs are concerned. Leading, so when you get horses get to the front of Goodwood, 41% win rate when they're able to lead. You need to be prominent. The actual over expected is 2.35% for horses that lead. That's incredible, isn't it? 135% more races won than expected when horses get on the front end. And the number of horses that they beat when they lead is 75% since the Race IQ data was compiled. That's a number of years worth of data. So leading is a massive advantage over 5 furlongs at Goodwood. There might be a bit of pace pressure, but I wouldn't think anything will be going faster than Miss Your Chance in the early part of the race. Around about 8-1, I think that's what she is at the moment. She'll definitely give you a run for your money this afternoon. At 4:10, Sam James on board for Carl Burke. I fancy her. Let's hear about what the boys like on the card as they sum things up for you today from the track.
Angus, thank you very much for everything this morning. Back with you shortly. Are you happy with the Stewards' Cup draw?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, you were picking, weren't you?
I was just not really.
No? Well, I saw you in the... I
said to David O'Mara, you've got to pick Dave, and he was the second one out, and he said 26, and I said to Lucky 26, and that was that. I didn't do much.
You did your job.
Yeah. It was,
well done.
It was the, and
do you think there's much?
That's all you can do. Roy Keane likes to say, just do your job.
Do your job.
Yeah.
Do you think there's much in it?
In what?
In the draw.
Yeah, I think generally, in recent times high numbers have been favoured. We had the turf tracks readings beforehand, and the far side is quicker. I seem to remember that happens nearly every year, that the turf tracks reading is quicker on the far side, and then by the time we get to the race,
changes.
You want to be this side. So I don't know. It's you can win it from both sides.
Best chance of a
well,
winner today.
Best chance of a winner today.
Yeah.
Well, the horse in the Richmond who
Simon and Ed Crisford's juvenile.
Yeah, whose name I've completely forgotten. It begins with F.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Still going really well, isn't it? Flan Sunner.
Well done.
If you want a winner today, I think that's the one.
But you suggested you'd
have
a bet.
I think he's looked a really good horse on his 2 starts so far. This is a natural step up for him. He's obviously taking on horses that have got a bit of depth to their form from Royal Ascot, but I feel like the way that he has looked on his 2 starts so far, and they've managed to bide their time with him, that he's a horse of this standard, and I think he's just looked really smart to me on his couple of outings so far.
Okay, well, he was in good form yesterday, was Chris, with a couple of winners, so hopefully he steered you in the way of another one. What does the rest of the day hold for you?
Going to do some work.
Yeah. Well, you are, listen, many hats.
Are you going out on the bike?
No, I'm done now. I'm off. I'm no more Goodwood for me. Wilderness Festival.
Staying for the racing?
No, Wilderness Festival. That's it. I'm done.
You could pretend that you're going to stay and enjoy the racing.
I don't lie to our viewers. I'm off to the Cotswolds to forget the next few days. Dave, Angus, back with you.
Good for you, Tom. Yeah, Wilderness Festival, ever heard of that?
Not for me, obviously a posh person's festival, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd let us in.
Certainly nothing I've ever been involved in or ever will be. I suspect.
I've been in the wilderness for quite a few years, many have said, but...
I have been there with you and I'm still there. Yes, favourites all went in. Well, a lot of them went in yesterday. It was a good day for punters, wasn't it?
It was, for most punters. I wouldn't have fancied being a bookie stood there. It was a bit of a sweaty experience when 5 favourites, and even the Arab race, they didn't get out of jail, and the favourite won that one. And then when the outsider did win, it was ridden by Billy Loughnane, the man of the moment. So, yeah, they'll be hoping to get a couple of upsets today. There's a lot of fancied horses today, and Aidan O'Brien's got 2 very short price favourites that people will have in doubles. I think it's, I think it might be tough for him to get out on this meeting until perhaps this Saturday. But well-backed favourite in the first that I'm on, that can stop one. But but we shall see. But it's been. I think it's overstepped its billing. It's been the first 2 days Scandinavian, and then yesterday Boeco. It's just been fabulous. Brilliant. How we're going to live up to that, I don't know, but I'm buzzed.
Yeah,
ready for the meeting.
Great stuff. Looking forward to it. Dave will be here throughout the afternoon. He'll be joined by Anthony Dunkley. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Let's go and hear finally from Rachel.
Welcome back. I found 3 beautiful ladies, and I've got somebody who wants to meet you. Frankie's here.
I love him.
Do you know who he is?
I do know who he is.
Who is he?
He was on I'm a Celeb. I can't believe
I tell you what, my time on I'm a Celebrity was great fun, and I've won plenty.
I think it might have been Love Island.
I think he was on Love Island. I don't think it was I'm a Celeb. And I think Frankie Dettori might be a bit shorter.
Well, I can come down a level.
Can I just... I'll just let you in on it. He's not Frankie Dettori.
Yeah, no, I know he's not.
He's far too tall.
Frankie Dettori was a great jockey around here, though. He was. And he was on I'm a Celeb.
See?
But, girls, tell us, why are we at Goodwood today?
So we are supporting our friend who is racing today.
In the Magnolia Cup.
What's her name?
Ilona Wells. So she is amazing. She's been through so much. We've been... Well, for the last 6 months she's been training. Fee's better at explaining.
Yeah,
okay, Fee, tell me about her training. How hard has she been working? What's she been up to? Tell us about the process.
So Ilona is incredible. So we met about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, us girls, just random horsey girls. We all went to a camp and literally didn't know each other, became the best of friends. Wow. And one day she said to us, we were hacking out, you know, scared at cars and leaves and, you know, just normal horses, normal ponies. And suddenly she said to us, girls, I want to do a race. And we said, nah. And she said, no, I want to do a race. I'm going to do a race for charity. And we said, what? And she said, so Ilona has a story. Her story is she has the BRCA gene. And the BRCA gene means that she was at a really high risk of having breast cancer. Oh, no. So, and because of this, Ilona went through a double mastectomy. She's also had hip issues and issues with ovaries and things as well. Same age as us, really young and just absolutely gorgeous. So we joked and we went, you don't look like a jockey, you know, you're tall and you've got boobs. Fake ones. And, sorry.
Maybe they're not as heavy.
No, maybe not. So, yeah, that was it. And we said, you can't be a racer. She said, I'm going to. So she started off with at a specific race yard. She was going really well. She was absolutely loving it. But the guy sadly told her that she wasn't good enough and she wouldn't be able to do it because of her hips. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't get in the right angle. Mm-hmm. So they said, no, they ghosted her.
They said, give it up, basically.
Give it up.
Yeah.
You're never going to get there.
She's persevered, she's gone with her training, and she's here today.
She found a different racer, and she said, this is it.
Wow. That is,
she's here today.
That is the lesson in life, though, isn't it? Never give up. Girls, so lovely to meet you. And yeah, fingers crossed for your friend. Right, very quickly.
You too.
Yeah. Foster, not Dettori. Which would you prefer to be?
I think I'd rather be
Come on. Hey, listen, big race today.
Yes.
Nassau, who's going to win?
Great race.
Is she the best 3-year-old?
Definitely the best 3-year-old. Is she the best in the race? The weight is what's getting me. She gets £9 from Friendly Soul and from the Balding horse as well. If it wasn't for that £9, then I'd probably would take her on with Friendly Soul. She was very unlucky at Ascot. She's a very, very good horse, but £9 is a fair bit of weight to give away to a filly that's done very well this season. So she's probably the most likely winner, but I wouldn't be steaming in at odds on.
No, come on, steaming in. I'm not steaming in on her either, but listen, she could be very special, and have a great day.
Yeah.
And of course, so we've seen so many special fillies that win the Nassau Stakes, some of the big memories to come, but one of our favourites, Racing Royalty. We're going to leave you with the Ouija board.
Welcome to episode 4 of Racing Royalty here on Racing TV. This year marks 20 since that fabulous success in the Nassau, which for me and for many would be the best race of the new millennium so far. We're going to chronicle now the remarkable race in life of Ouija board.
Anything at 2 for me was really good. Did I think she was that good? Not remotely. I mean, you know, what happened at 3, 4 and 5 was beyond my wildest comprehension.
So when you visualise her and those silks, is there any one jockey that's to your mind?
Kieran is a 3-year-old, Frankie is a 5-year-old.
The biggest worry with her was actually if you got there too soon, she'd think she'd ever know. Not that she'd stop, but she idled in front because she's done enough, and then obviously you're going to get things going flying at her.
If you could summarise her, characterise her in a sentence, what would it be?
Brilliant, exceptional, and life-changing.
I absolutely was almost exactly on the finishing line, but I think I was just past it, was just favoured side that was in. So in my mind, there was no doubt that she had won. When I saw the photograph later, I had no idea that it was about half a pixel's victory.
A furlong and a half left to go. Far side Ouija board, near side Alexander Goldrun. Not a breath between them. 4 lengths in front of Nanina battling on. Ouija board, the far side won't give in. Near side is Alexander Goldrun. Absolutely nothing between them. They race towards the line now. Oh no! Ouija board has won it. Frankie Dettori, Ouija board. Lord Derby, Ed Dunlop. What a triumph. And you will not see a better race at Goodwood ever.